It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Hello and welcome to the Northwoods Cooking Show. I'm your chef, Uncle Roy, and this is my lovely assistant, Miss Kelly Ellis. Oh, Kelly Ellis. Oh, get the treats. Oh. Where's your other treats? Oh. Oh, almost empty. Little piece of treat. In positions, over here. Come here. Oh, hello. Oh, yeah, plastic place it. Oh, pick that up. Ah. Got a little squeaky out of the toy. The squeakers, and those stuffed toys, how they like to rip and shred them up, just to get that squeaky out. Well, she got it out, and then she get the plastic chip comes out, and then it's like, oh, you don't want her to swallow it. Bad girl. And then she had white stuffing all over the basement floor. Cool. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day. This is our special edition of our Sweethearts Dinner for Two. And of course, Callie's always my sweetheart. Yes, aren't you, Callie? Yes. Kisses. Yeah. And so today's episode is going to be on our Valentine dinner for two. And we're going to be making some lovely treats today. So let me get out of the cold. I just cut in and got this. I just picked up a bottle of wine. Of course, I don't drink, but this is going to be for the special. We're going to be making beef bourguignon, and for dessert, we're going to be making a gâteau basque, which is going to be a French meal dinner for two. Since we've been going on a French theme, I thought, why not do a French dinner for two for Valentine's Day? Ain't that right, my sweetheart? Mon chien. Yeah! And so I picked myself up a Cabernet Sauvignon Bordeaux, because we're going to be making beef bourguignon, and so we need a Burgundy wine for it. It's so simple. It is so easy. The recipes are just fabulous. And when I was over in France, and this one I didn't get over there, but I got it out of my French cookbook that I bought in France off the sidewalk. So let me get out and change into my apron, my French apron, and we'll be right back with beef bourguignon. Surprise! Ain't that right, Callie? Oh, mon chien. Yeah, bonjour, mon chien. So we're going to continue on with our beef bourguignon. This will be a great dinner for two. Now, the recipe that I'm making is for 4 people, and I've cut this in half for only 2. So I don't want to make a large amount here. And what we're going to start out with is we're going to cook off our vegetables and meat. And what we need is 1 ounce, which is 2 tablespoons of butter. And we put this directly right into our Dutch oven. Oh, now she's going to take off. And we also need, see you later, Miss Monchien, vegetable oil. Olive oil is better if you have it. Just regular olive oil is fine. You don't need the extra virgin. That's virgin. An extra virgin is more for your salad dressings when you add oil and vinegar. But just plain regular vegetable oil is fine. But you can use vegetable oil, it's fine. I think that's what I'm going to do. 1/4 cup of vegetable oil mixed in with the butter. And what this does, it keeps the butter from browning. You don't want to burn the butter, because we're going to be cooking on a higher heat. If you had all butter, it would burn and get black. And if you had all olive oil, it would get all smoky, and that could catch fire too. So when you're cooking at high heat, if you have a mixture of the two, they counteract each other to keep everything from browning too fast, so it keeps it from flaming up or catching fire. So we're going to melt this down. And to this, we're going to be adding 1 carrot, And I slice it thin and at a 45-degree angle, so you get the julienne type of look. Or no, this is more oriental. But I like these carrots when they're cut this way at a 45-degree angle. It makes it more interesting, more, fun. And then I have 2 slices of thick cut bacon. I cut that up. That's all going in here. Oh, the fish. A new addition to the Northwoods cooking show. I got a string of fish here. Diane found these for me at Savers. Can you stand it? So she goes, oh my word. She goes, the Northwoods cooking show is written all over it. You gotta put those up. So these are gonna be a regular fixture in the show from now on, but I got the fish. Anyway, so we're gonna cook these up until everything's all tender and the bacon's all brown. Along also with 1 onion that I took and I julienne this onion. Because you want thin strips, and julienne's a French term too. So you want the thin slices. And along with 1 clove of garlic all diced up and minced. And then we gotta put in our meat. Now we need about 3.5 pounds of whatever steak you want to use is fine. I mean, that's totally up to you how much you want to spend. I, by chance, happen to have half of a beef tenderloin. So this is expensive meat. But I bought this when it was on sale at Christmas time, and I made half into dinner for myself and my roommate. And then the other half I stuck in the freezer, which I don't know when I'm going to use it, but I thought this would be perfect for Valentine's. So I'm just going to use the beef tenderloin, and this is probably about a 1.5 pound chunk of meat. And the nice thing about it is being that it's slightly frozen still. I thawed it out semi, but if your meat's completely thawed out, then it's hard to cut into as far as dicing into chunks. So if it's slightly frozen, it's much easier to cut into. So anyway, now we're going to take and cut these up into cubes. Let's put this in the pot too. Now too, is in between my shots here, I do a lot of editing. And I have to make the show into a half-hour show, so I might tape 45 minutes to an hour, and I have to cut things out. I might even cut this out because I'm talking up a storm here. We're gonna let this cook off until the vegetables and meat are all brown. And then we'll be right back with more of our beef bourguignon. Okay, now our vegetables and meat are browned off, and that liquid that's in it has been reduced to almost a little on a thicker paste. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of flour. And we're going to stir this up to mix in that flour with all of the vegetables and meat. Next, we're going to add a bottle of Burgundy wine. I happen to have a Cabernet Sauvignon, Bordeaux, 2010. Right here. Chris, I don't know. You tell me. I just got it. Oh, there we go. Smells good. Now we'll let this come to a boil, and then we'll cover it and we'll let it simmer. We'll turn it down to low then, and we'll let it simmer for like 2.5 hours. And then we'll get a nice tender beef then. And with a beef tenderloin, it's gonna be even more tender. This should be just falling apart. We don't want it that well done, but it's gonna be that good. And we're gonna make a little bouquet garni into the stew. And for this we want approximately a teaspoon of Italian seasoning and about a teaspoon of parsley flakes. And put that in a little coffee filter so that the juices can flow through. Because we don't want all the seasonings in there, because you know when you get too much seasoning, you get all that crud, all the flakes and stuff around your teeth and everything. So we just put this in a little bouquet garni. And remember those twisties, savory twisties? Well, these are plastic ones, so they're not gonna affect the stew. and just twist top, or even take a string and tie around there. And just throw that into your pot. And then the flavors of those spices will blend out into the stew without having to get all the fresh veggies on your teeth and stuff. I can't explain myself, but you know what I mean, I hope. So then we'll be right back when that's all done. So when this gets done, we'll be ready for our beef bourguignon. So we'll just cover this, simmer it. After it comes to a boil, then simmer, and for 2.5 hours. And we'll be right back. Okay, now to continue on with another dessert. So, gâteau basse didn't turn out because we didn't have the equipment at the right time to make it, and so we just didn't have enough time to do it. And the crust itself was just way too sticky, so there must be something different than what I have for the recipe. So not to worry, we're going to go on to another recipe instead, and we're going to be making some Valentine cupcakes. And for this one, you need just any old regular baked chocolate cake mix. You can use any type of cake mix you want to, because we're going to be adding other ingredients to it, so you don't follow the instructions on the box. You just pour in the container the bag of chocolate cake mix. And to this, these are going to be called sinfully delicious cupcakes for Valentine's. And sin is spelled C-I-N because there's a lot of cinnamon in this. So we have one box of cake mix. Along to this, we need 1 cup of milk. And just pour that directly right into the bowl. Can't see anything with my glasses, and I can't see without them. And then we need 3 eggs also, along with a 1/2 cup of melted butter, along with a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And of course, I got the Madagascar vanilla. You want your good stuff for Valentine's, but it's a special occasion. Then we just mix this up just until it's moistened. And then we'll beat it at medium speed for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's thoroughly mixed. And then that's it for the batter. Now we'll just take and scrape this off. And we're going to take and just fill up our cupcake papers. Now remember, only fill them up about 2/3 of the way full. Otherwise you can get too full and they overflow, and then you won't be able to have a nice rounded cupcake. It'll be more flat if you put in too much. And you don't get a nice rounded look then when you want to take and frost it. It looks like a cab. It just doesn't look appealing. So now we'll just take a little bit of Pam and get your cupcake wrappers all lined up. And just take and spray a little shot into each of the paper. This helps to keep the cupcakes from sticking to the paper when you go to unwrap them. They come off much easier. And then I just like to use the ice cream scooper. And if you find one that's just a perfect size, it's about 1/3 cup, it works just great and you get perfect ones every time. But make sure you smooth it off on the inside of the bowl here. Otherwise you're going to round up with too much batter. And I got these little cupcake paper wrappers. You can get them anywhere. I got these at the dollar store, and they come with a little plastic heart-shaped toothpick that you stick on the top after you frost them, which makes it a little bit more festive. And we can take and put some jimmies or sprinkles on the top of the frosting too, to make it even more pretty. Then we just take an equal amount of cinnamon sugar. I forgot to put this on. I'm doing like 2 teaspoons of cinnamon and 2 teaspoons of sugar. And you're just going to use this to sprinkle on top of your cupcakes. And you don't need a heavy coating, just a light sprinkle, just enough to give it a little flavor to it. And then we'll just put these in the oven at 350 degrees for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. or until you stick a toothpick in the center and it comes out clean. And while those are baking, we'll be right back. Here's some footage from Paris when I was there to show you what it was like to be on vacation, and in some of the cooking classes too. Okay, now we're going to take and make the frosting for the cupcakes. And this will call for a half cup of softened butter. You can just take, like I do, as if I have it in the refrigerator. You want to soften up real quick if you didn't leave it out at room temperature. Just put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds. You don't want to do it anymore because you don't want to melt it. You just want to soften it up. And a half cup of shortening. And if you have the butter flavor Crisco, that's even better. That's going to give you more of a richer flavor. And then to this we need a pinch of salt and a teaspoon of vanilla, and then we need a tablespoon of cinnamon, and I'm going to take and just put in the rest of my cinnamon sugar mixture so I don't waste that. It's still going to work. You're just not going to have as strong a cinnamon, but you can put in up here 1 tablespoon of cinnamon if you want to. And then we're going to put in also a tablespoon of cocoa. And this is my this is the special dark chocolate, the dark cacao, which is 100% cacao. This is going to be real chocolatey. And then we need 3 cups of powdered sugar. Put this on low. And then also needs a 1/4 cup of milk. Once that's moistened up, then we can take and turn it up and fluff it up more by keeping it on a higher level. Plus, it's going to mix that butter and shortening in much smoother. Let that go for at least another 2 minutes. Then I'm going to add another cup of sugar, and you can go up as far as an additional 2 cups, depending upon the consistency you desire. We'll see, this is nice and fluffy, almost like a marshmallow cream. I could go thicker if I wanted to. But I think this is going to work out just fine for a spreadable frosting. If I did another cup of sugar, then I could do it through a tube. I think this is just fine for a spreadable. Well, you don't want to frost your cupcakes yet until they're completely cool. Otherwise, you're going to melt your frosting. So I'm just waiting for the cupcakes to cool. I put them outside, and in this weather, they should be cool pretty soon. And so I'm going to take and put in the other cup of powdered sugar just to make it a little bit more thicker. It's nice spreadable for, with a butter knife. But I still want it a little bit thicker just so it can hold the decorations. And again, you might have seen me do this before, but to get your frosting into your bag much easier, you want to take and get like a cup or a pitcher, and then just lay your pastry bag right into the cup, and that holds it better. So then you can fill it. It's so much nicer, much easier. And we'll just fill this up as much as we can the first time. And like I said, I got this kit at the dollar store, and they got these little picks with little sweetheart shapes on them and stuff. So we can stick these right in there too, along with sprinkles too. And if you want to, you can even take and write names on them too, or even stick in those little candy hearts. You know, hug me, kiss me, you can put those on there too. We're just gonna squeeze this down into it. And this just gives it a little bit more nicer look to it when we go to decorate. And let me get those cupcakes and we'll be set up here, so we'll be ready in just a minute. Okay, now we got our cupcakes here. And we'll just go ahead and frost. And you can do this any way you want to, as far as outlining goes. You just go into a great big circle. And just work your way towards the center. Or another way is just going halfway around. And then start the other side and go around the other way. Okay, now for decorating, I got some Valentine M&Ms. And you can just sprinkle these all over the cupcakes. For little decoration purposes. To make them colorful. All different colors here, and you don't have to be OCD about it. You can put them in any order you want to. Or you could be OCD and put, you know, all red in one and all pink in another, all white in another, or however. But it doesn't matter, you get the idea. It's just something colorful to make it look Valentine's. Now you don't have to worry about the frosting being perfect either as you spin it around and swirl it. If you have any holes, you can just cover them up with your M&Ms, or even the peak, you can cover that up too if you didn't get it perfect. It's nothing that has to be exactly right. It's just to give you the idea of something fun and festive for Valentine's. And that's different for everybody, so everything doesn't have to be exactly the same. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want everything to be festive is all, and enjoyable. So you just, you know, do what you can and work with what you got to work with, you know. I've done a lot of, growing up as a kid, I did a lot of substitutes for a lot of things that I didn't have or couldn't afford to have. And so nothing had to be perfect. I always try to make things look perfect as best as I possibly can. And if you're doing your best, then you are doing your best at what you can do. And people just appreciate having these treats anyway. So it doesn't matter how you do them. You know, if you give somebody a treat and say, here, happy Valentine's Day, they're going to appreciate that more so than anything else because you made it from the heart. And it's very special to them that you went out of your way to make something for them. You can see what I'm getting with just that. And then we can just take and stick in these little Valentine hearts to make it even more festive. These are shades of purple and pink, or purple and red, I mean, excuse me. And we'll just stick those in the old wear. That makes it festive. And this is our lovely beef bourguignon and our cupcakes for Valentine's. Lovely beef bourguignon. Oh, it's just ever as delicious. Callie has already eaten many pieces. And then our little cupcakes for dessert. So it's a wonderful Valentine's dinner for two. So from Callie, Allie, and myself, we want to say Happy Valentine's Day. So, Callie, did you have fun today? Yeah. Little Valentine special treats? Yeah. For you and me. Yeah. Let's see who wrote us this week. You ain't nothing but a in positions. Oh, sit pretty. Sit. Sit. Pretty. Oh, that was kind of a hard to sit, isn't it? She's tired. She was just out running around in the snow, so she's kind of pooped. A little tired. She'll get up for the cupcake. Well, let's see who wrote us this week, Callie. Dear Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, I was wondering what you can use substitute for vanilla bean as far as vanilla extract goes. Signed, Lynn of Osseo, Minnesota. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah, we talked about that earlier today. Because I was writing, I didn't have vanilla beans, and that is a good question, because you got to scrape them out like that. It's only a teeny little titch you get out of those beans, and it's a wonderful pungent flavor. But they are quite expensive. There's like $8 just for 2 beans, you know. So if you want to splurge, go ahead, you know, but a lot of us can't splurge these days. The economy is really tight. So if you want to use your regular pure vanilla, that's fine, because even pure vanilla is expensive too, but you get the whole bottle. And 1 teaspoon equals 1 vanilla bean. So that's your equation. So I just think of as 1 and 1. It's just very simple. 1 teaspoon of extract equals 1 vanilla bean. And I use the pure vanilla, the Madagascar bourbon vanilla for special occasions. That's a $20 bottle of vanilla. That's expensive, which I really can't afford, but I use, like I said, I use my spending money that I get for Christmas gifts and birthday treats, whatever. I'll take and put that aside and use that for my vanilla, so that I'm not really spending a lot. It's just a little extra out there. But I hope that answers your questions, Len, and thank you so much for writing in. And from Miss Callie, Allie, and I think she wants a piece of cupcake. Oh, is it pretty early for this? Kicks falling apart. We want to say, eat. Look, she's waking up now. Eat healthy. Be safe. Spread the sunshine. Sit prettier. Come on, get up. Sit pretty. Come on, get over here and sit pretty. You can do it. Yeah. You're sleeping, aren't you? Yeah, you're sleeping. Happy Valentine's Day. Say bye-bye, Kelly. Au revoir. Yeah.